Hello to all those non-humans also watching. Gita Rose here. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a minute in the ever eternal now, one moment. I fully trust that everyone has had exactly what they need in this period since I've made a video, and wishing everyone the best, most exciting, transformative new year, new decade, and that everyone had a beautiful fall and a beautiful rebuild. So I've been spending a lot of time out in nature. This is a little creek that is right by my house where I hike up to, and been having meditations and connecting with the elementals and all of the hybrids and many different guides and ascended masters and beings and my own higher self. Been really taking this time of retreat for myself, and it's a really beautiful time to do that. Any time is, but especially the fall and winter months, and then the rebirth into this new year and new decade. Super fun permission slips. So I've been doing a lot of foundational work, and I use the word work because we can make fun with these types of foundational searchings. I'm speaking primarily about finding the belief structures. This has been my journey for the past few months, and really the past few years, but especially taking this break. I've been really diligently practicing and looking for beliefs, ideas, stories that don't serve me, and finding those core programmings and filters that hold us back from fully being ourselves. And also those core filters are part of the design. They're perfect, and they allow us to have the experience of being human and remembering what human really means. So I'm on the very specific rock that I've been coming up to find those beliefs and to go through a process of honestly talking to myself to find those beliefs. And the more that I have started to give sessions again with Bella, and the more that we align with people, the more she is absolutely adamant on us being our channels for ourselves, and really wanting to put her and myself out of a job, and for us to know that we completely have the ability, that anything that we need has already been given to us in terms of this channeled information, that we don't actually need anymore. What we need to do is to fully apply it and be it. And specifically about looking for those beliefs and finding those ideas, those stories, and rewriting them for ourselves. That's really it. That's it. And we hear a lot of these beings say this to us, right? Like, well, just rewrite the belief, insert a new belief. And they, for the most part, kind of leave it at that, right? But like, what does that really look like? How do we do that? And there's many different ways that we can go about doing that for ourselves. For me, it's talking to myself. So I've been really grounding in, owning the idea that we are experiencing a projection of our consciousness. That there's nothing outside of us, that it's all stemming from our consciousness, our creation. And even when we are seeing realities with the splitting prism, seeing things that we don't prefer, from some level, it's still coming from that aspect of our consciousness that is creating this. Fully embodying that idea that everything we are experiencing is a projection. And I, like many of us, have had that conceptual understanding. And it's a big part of the journey. It really is like the journey. That knowing of rooting that inner standing, that deep feeling, sensory experience of knowing that we are experiencing a projection of our consciousness and nothing else. And this is truly the only thing that separates us from the hybrids or these other extra-dimensional beings, is that knowing. And that's our whole journey, our whole process, that knowing. And I've been playing with the idea of like, okay, like how can I root that in me? What would I be believing is true in order to prevent me from fully feeling that? And for me, how I work is I first find the feeling. So I've been doing this a lot with myself in this exact location, talking out loud to myself. And so I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like. And I do use the word work because we can be in the process of redefining what this looks like, that this is the passion in action. This is the process in creation. But we sometimes have a challenging time allowing ourselves to feel what we define as negative or uncomfortable emotions. But those are the key that allows us to find the belief and unlock the door and insert a new story, a new idea. And I really like using the word of story and idea because it allows us to not feel it so gripped. It's a lot easier for us to be like, oh, like tell a different story rather than like insert a new belief, but it's the same thing. So those slight adjustments in language can be really beneficial for us. But again, I do use the word work because there is a certain type of dedication and perseverance and courage in being this vulnerable with yourself. And being this vulnerable perhaps in a location where there's going to be a bike rider coming down the path and he may overhear me or see me, or maybe my neighbors can hear me talking to myself. But again, it's all a projection of my consciousness. And what does that stem? What does that grow within me? Oh, look, I just created it. I can hear a bike rider coming right now. How fun. So what does that bring up within me? This excitement to be on the path, and perhaps someone may stop and wave and go, oh, interesting, what's she doing? What am I doing? Mirroring ourselves. It's just like a fun, and I, point in case, aligned with that reality right then and there. And he was in alignment with seeing some girl in the woods talking to a camera, talking to herself in some cases when I do this alone. So there is a level of perseverance and courage to be vulnerable, that as we are in the process of redefining things, it is kind of like doing the work, taking the steps and just pushing and doing it. So going back to the idea of, first of all, identifying the feeling. So what am I feeling? What do I feel in terms of the idea that everything I am experiencing is my projection? What is that feeling? The first thing that stems up for me is fear. Okay, interesting, fear. Yeah, that's good. I validate that and I go, yeah, cool. The first thing that came to my mind must be what's actually relevant, fear. And I honor that, and I honor my ability to see and to be vulnerable and to have that awareness. I appreciate my ability to be aware just of the fact that I can feel that I'm experiencing a sensation that I know is fear. I also honor that, yeah, that must be the root feeling of this, because I'm looking at a very root core belief that on some level, I don't believe that everything is me. I don't believe that, not fully, but I want to. So what's the feeling? Fear, okay. And allow yourself to feel that, right? And something that is really powerful is to remember that you're in a workshop, you're in a play. We're an explorer in these realms, and holding that perspective of remembering the actor allows us to not fully fall into that fear. So there's an activation of the emotional body as well as the perhaps analytical mind, just to see it and observe it. But allow yourself to drop into it as well to a certain extent. Be the paradox itself. So what would I need to be believing is true in order to be experiencing fear? And I know what fear is. I know that fear is the same energy as love, as excitement, being filtered through beliefs, stories, ideas that don't serve me. So what would I need to be believing is true in order to feel the idea that I am a projection of the one, of consciousness? What would I need to be believing is true in order to interpret that truth in a way that gives me fear? And allow yourself to search for it too. It might not come up right away, especially when we're looking at these really deep core beliefs. The first thing that comes in for me is that I don't trust myself. Okay, that's interesting. Ask yourself questions. Be in the perspective of your favorite teacher, whether it's Bella or Bashar or Abraham Hicks or whoever. Ask yourself questions. Okay, interesting. Why do you feel that you don't trust yourself? Allow emotions to come up, like, yeah, oh, like already I'm tapping into something. Because my tears are beginning to come out, my eyes are beginning to well, I'm already tapping into a story, a belief that I am ready to let go of. I've been doing this process a lot. And it's still there, like these core ones, you just gotta keep doing it. So why don't I trust myself? Because somewhere within me, I know that I am a transformational energy. And I fear that transformation must also bring destruction. Ooh, that's good. Okay, cool. That's a belief. Is that a fact? No. I mentally know that, but still emotionally I feel that. Okay. So dig deeper. There's also something, not only a belief, but the way that we are defining things. Looking at our specific language. So the word destruction. Things they do fall apart. But an inherent part of transformation is a rebirth. So destruction doesn't need to be defined as something wrong, something bad. And it doesn't even need to happen at all in how we define transformation. Destruction does not need to be an inherent part of transformation. Why do you think? Why do you think that? Why do you believe that transformation has to have destruction? Me personally identifying as transformation, why does it need to bring destruction? It doesn't? Good, great, awesome, honor that. And honor that slight shift of emotional awareness. I now feel slightly less fear, and I have more excitement. I have more curiosity. I feel more like an anthropologist, seeking and discovering. That's fun. we have so many stories of change and transformation being an upheaval, right? We have it with the death card, the Kali, I see it in my mind, explosions and war, and I see that in my external reality. And this is coming up so strong for me because I'm owning and wanting to ground that my consciousness creates what I am experiencing. And does that mean even things like war? Does that mean I need to take ownership for that level of destruction? Is that even helpful for me? Yeah. Because it gives me that sense of ownership. And there is a power and a tranquility within that idea that I can use. And allow anything to come through, any picture, any cross-connecting life that we see. And I see an aspect of my oversoul that is in the Orion Wars and taking down planets on the daily, and I can put my lines into all of these different aspects of my oversoul that has served as this part of creation that did not wield the power wisely. So do you believe that you can wield the power wisely? I'm not sure. That's honest. Good. Do you want to believe that you can believe? Yeah. So what's the idea again? I'm wanting to find and anchor in how I can fully embody that knowing my consciousness creates what I experience. I have fear that my being, my essence, brings destruction. But I know that that's not inherently a fact. And I know that that doesn't need to be true. I also can feel the part of me that feels wrong for existing, that feels evil. And I can feel the part of me that laughs. I can feel that eternal God aspect, mother, child, brother, father, daughter aspect of me that laughs at that idea and knows that that's not true. And that reminds me that even if on some level it were to be true, there is nothing but this one moment, this now. And I can choose. I can choose to embody what I define to be good and wise and love. That it's just right here, right now, and I can choose. And still there's the resistance. The resistance that it's that simple. Okay. What would you need to be believing is true in order to feel that resistance? There's also anger. Relax. Allow your body to relax. What would I need to be believing is true in order to feel that resistance, in order to have that anger, that my past needs to dictate and create my now and my future. Because of things that my parents have told me, things that my society has told me, things that I've experienced as different versions of me, that put up these walls, that resistance, because in ways it's easier to be let down, to be disappointed. What I've talked about before, it's easier to be in fear in ways the muscle is stronger than to be in love. So what would you need to be believing is true? In order to feel that. And then we look at those core beliefs. Am I worthy? Am I deserving? My mind knows. My mind knows I'm worthy and deserving. But my heart and my emotions still have so much resistance in believing that. I honor that and I see that. And even that awareness, that observation of myself, I can feel myself unconditionally loving me for honoring and seeing there is some level of me that still believes I am not deserving. I am not worthy of it being that simple. Woo! And things begin to move, and things begin to open and release. And I feel my power, and I feel my ability to be the paradox. And I do feel that much more able to know that I can trust myself. That I can wield the power wisely. That transformation does not need to bring a negative type of destruction. And I can feel that much more deserving of the eternal love, God, source, energy. Everything is. Whew. And then I'm able to see my external reality that much more clearly. Colors are sharper. I see more of the little bugs, and I hear the birds louder, and I see each individual leaf. I see each individual projection of a universe that much more clearly. And I am that much more integrated in the idea that everything I experience is a projection of my consciousness. And I also feel cold. I feel my hands are cold. I feel my feet are kind of cold. I know that I'm integrated more of my spirit essence into this physical reality. I feel kind of like I need a nap. I'm still aware that like this is part of my play, this is part of the work, this is my process of how I do it, talk to myself in this way. And there's more. I could do this every day, and I may need to for some time, and it's finding the excitement in doing it, the passion in the process, and then also knowing where it's like, okay, cool, we like scraped away a few layers, I'm good for today. And I feel that much more in my alignment to take the next and the next and the next step, those small ideas, those passions, those excitements in each and every moment, knowing that I want to breathe and that I can breathe, and carrying it through without any insistence. And because I am in passion, I am in joy in each and every moment, for the sake of my joy itself, regardless of the outcome, I can have a positive, integrative response to it because I'm in my joy regardless. So this is the foundation of the teachings. And it does require us being diligent to do it and to be vulnerable in any way that that looks for you. So I hope this was somewhat inspiring or helpful in terms of how we can actually do it. How do we find new stories and implement our true selves? So I am booking sessions if people are curious, and I'm also like really encouraging in ways it's quite paradoxical for people to not book sessions, to really integrate everything that we know this far and to do it, to be it, to live it. Another thing that I'm really excited about, Reuben Langdon and I have created a retreat in Hawaii, E.T.A. Contact Retreat. E.T.A. Estimated Time of Arrival, Extraterrestrial Awakening. This retreat is going to be an amazing, all-inclusive 5-day community contact retreat on the Big Island of Hawaii in March. I will leave the applicable links if people are curious, but it's going to be a really beautiful, profound way for all of us to come together and to experience many, many different forms of contact. And Reuben and I shot a video talking about more of the details, which we will share shortly. So take a nice deep breath, everyone. And see the screen and the dream, and know that there's nothing in between. You can like if you like, and subscribe if you like, and remember to ring the bell, ding dong, if you like, to get notifications on new videos. I'm excited to be back again here now as a new version of me. I love you all dearly. Our minds may be different, our bodies may be different, though it is through our hearts that we know our spirits are one. Aloha!